Hello, welcome to this final section of the Introduction to Sociology, which concerns the sociology of culture. As this is a very wide-ranging topic, I will devote several videos to it, identifying the main elements of culture, that is, symbolic communication, material culture, and non-material culture, and outlining the role played by culture in group membership. So, what is culture? For sociologists, culture refers to all the things we learn as members of social groups. As a species, human beings are distinctive in that relatively little of what we do is instinctual in nature. Instead, we essentially learn how to be human. From infancy onwards, we discover that our lives are shaped and defined by a myriad social expectations and patterns. The socialization we experience, the social statuses and roles that are available to us, and the rules governing our interactions with others are all part of our culture. So too are the very groups we belong to or join, and the material technologies and belief systems that we encounter and utilize. One of the most distinctive characteristics of human beings is our facility in using symbolic communication, most particularly language, but also a wide range of other systems of symbols, including gestures, body movements, and physical objects. We are not the only species to use forms of symbolic communication, however, but the systems used by other species, including call signs and gestures, are more limited in extent and in the complexity and subtlety of what they can convey. There are also a number of interesting studies which have indicated that individual African apes, that's bonobos, chimpanzees, and gorillas, can learn a range of human signs, normally gestures based on deaf and dumb sign language, which, when these are taught to them by human trainers. Impressive though these achievements are in indicating the ape's intelligence, they are both abnormal and limited in extent. The apes only learn the gestures in captivity after prolonged, intensive, and artificial interaction with human instructors, and even the most fluent of the apes only achieve a sign vocabulary equivalent to the language skills of a young human child. Spoken language is a uniquely human device, enabling us to communicate the details of our needs, wishes, and commands to others, to report on what we have seen or heard, even if the events we are describing happened far away or long ago, and to plan projects together for a near or distant future, whether they be a mundane trip to a local shop to buy provisions, or a vast project to put someone on the moon or a robot rover on Mars. We can also use language in our own personal reflections on our lives and experiences. Unlike non-human communication systems, human language is neither context-dependent nor confined to responses to specific stimuli, but can be abstract and general. It is also potentially unlimited, capable of generating an infinity of distinct messages from a limited system of units of sound and meaning. It can also be used in innovative ways to describe new experiences. The ability to use spoken language is very ancient, and its initial emergence may well have been linked to our own emergence as a distinct species, a topic which has generated a lot of debate and speculation, but very few clear answers. Certainly, with the exception of a small number of children who are born with certain physical handicaps, all modern humans possess the ability to learn how to speak, and most do so with great speed during the first few years of their lives. Further elaboration may be achieved through schooling, but the basic ability is already well established before the child goes to school. The ability to speak then, is a biological given, dependent on the possession of the necessary neural pathways, hearing, and the physical apparatus of speech production. Which language we learn to speak, however, is purely a matter of culture. Normally, we learn whatever is the prevailing language of our family as our mother tongue. But if other languages are spoken in our neighborhood, we may well learn those too, and many children grow up perfectly fluent in 2 or more languages. Each language represents a unique cultural world with its own distinctive vocabulary and expressions. The principle of linguistic relativity, particularly associated with Benjamin Lee Whorf, suggests that each language both expresses and shapes the thought of its speakers to some degree, although there's been much argument about in what ways and to what degree. Thus, a local language will be most likely to have developed a comprehensive vocabulary for the plants, animals, and natural phenomena encountered by its speakers, enabling them to quickly discern fine distinctions between things which may not be immediately obvious to outsiders. Famously and controversially, the Inuit, the Eskimos, are said to have a large number of words for snow, whereas everyday English manages to make do with just one. Similarly, the Sami, Lappish languages of Northern Europe have a rich vocabulary for types of both snow and reindeer, because these are an important part of their lives. Again, Arabic has many words for different types of camels in different conditions. This point must not be overstated, however. Language and experience do appear to be closely linked, but most researchers have come to reject the once popular view that vocabulary determines thought, stating only that language merely reflects and influences thought. After all, a native English speaker who has to spend a lot of time dealing with snow, as a professional skier, for example, will develop a fine appreciation for differences of snow cover that impact their life and develop an appropriate terminology: new snow, fern, neve, old snow, powder snow, and so on, which may not be used in everyday English. Far more significant is the idea that language impacts people's perceptions of more abstract ideas. Thus, various researchers have maintained that different languages facilitate or impede the speaker's ability to keep track of the number of things in a group, differentiate between certain colors, maintain an awareness of direction, accord responsibility for unintended actions, and specify relationships within a family. There are now around 7,000 languages worldwide, some of them major world languages spoken by many millions of people, others spoken by just a few score people each, and in danger of extinction. To a considerable degree, each of these languages represents a separate world of tradition, experience, and meaning. In many societies with a multiplicity of ethnic groups, language serves as an important social marker, dividing one group from another and indicating social status. Correspondingly, learning another language may represent an identification with another social group, or lead to social acceptance by those who are native speakers of a dominant language. Internationally, too, there is a hierarchy of languages, and those who wish to present themselves as members of the cultural and educational elite must learn its languages. Thank you for listening. If you like these videos, you're welcome to subscribe to my channel. I'll try to answer any questions you may have about this video in a future one. And if you want to support the development of the channel, you can do so through Patreon or PayPal. I'll give details below. You can click the like button so that I can get an idea of which videos are of greatest interest to viewers. Next week, other aspects of symbolic communication. Have a good day.